Yeah, this is Big Muscle on the hustle. We're doing a green screen today. You understand? So all the people who left TikTok come to YouTube. Yeah, I'm gonna be on YouTube making some more videos on YouTube. And we're gonna be talking about a lot of politics and things that's happening in and around the United States. Okay, so I know there's some people who left TikTok and come over to YouTube, right? What we're going to talk about is American politics, world politics, and a lot of different things that's happening in and around the United States, mostly in regards to the government, what it was, what it is, and what's going on. So recently we could see in Chicago where there's a lot of protests going on. I think they even still got protests going on in Chicago right now as we speak. You dig what I'm saying? And not to mention the government shutdown of the federal system and a lot of different things. Okay, so all these social issues are impacting a lot of people, not just people who live in the US, but also people who live outside of the US who have US interests, whether it's to travel here, business, or do trade with the US. We see tariffs and a lot of different things going on. Okay. So we're gonna start talking about these things on all social media platform, not only just for talk, but to spread awareness to a lot of people who are not paying attention, don't have time because they're always at work, and other stuff like that. You dig what I'm saying? Um, there's so many things to discuss as far as how American politics is affecting the landscape of the United States today. And it's something that people have never seen before. And a lot of things that politicians are doing today aren't right in America. Why? I say it's not right because this does not, it contradicts United States Constitution. It contradicts the laws, rules, and regulations of America. So with that is the reason why a lot of these things are not right. Okay, so we could see where there are ICE agents chasing down people, beating them, shooting them with rubber bullets, zip tying kids, and a lot of different things like that. You know what I'm saying? And what we have to do is we have to look at these things for what they are and don't try to see them or try to negotiate them as anything other than what you're seeing. Okay, so historically in the United States, the way the Constitution is written, for those who understand it, it's written for to prevent things like this to happen in America. When I say things like this, I mean like having this MAGA government now, which is a tyrannical government. The Constitution was written to prevent that because if you check back in the history, coming out of the British rule, coming into America gaining its independence from Britain, it's written so the United States would never have to go back through any type of rule or kingship per se. And if you look at what MAGA is doing today, right, the now administration in the United States, you clearly see that this is a tyrannical government. It's very tyrannical and they don't listen to anyone. Okay, they just do what they want to do and that's it. And if they have things like Project 2025 and a lot of different project, we're hearing about Project ESTA and Project 2025. Now, I would suggest that you read this Project 2025 so you can have a better understanding of what it's really about and the goal and plan that the MAGA regime has in mind. Now you see where they're purchasing a lot of different and they're investing in different social media spaces like TikTok, right? And possibly YouTube, right? That they're investing in. Why? Because they're trying to control the media. They're trying to control the media, control the stories, and control what gets filtered to the public and what doesn't get filtered to the public. But in my opinion and view, I know for sure that they cannot filter everything. And the reason is that every person, most people in the world have a smartphone today, and they're going to publish things as they see it. Remember, people like me We're not paid by anyone. We're just talking about things we see on a daily basis, okay? And we're recording things that occur. So we've seen a No Kings protest that happened, I think it was April of this year. No Kings protest, well, millions of Americans marched and protested in the streets of the United States against the MAGA regime. Now in October 2025, I think it's October 18, there's another mass protest, which is called No Kings 2.0 or something like that, that's scheduled to take place across the United States. You get what I'm saying? And if you read a lot of things on the internet, whether it's TikTok or YouTube, you'll see where a lot of people are planning to attend these protests. No Kings 2.0. Currently, there's protests happening in Chicago, Portland, Oregon. There are people that are there protesting. And we see where a lot of judges are trying to stop MAGA from deploying, what do you call the military in the streets of America against the American civilians population. And of course, MAGA has circumvented this effort again and again by deploying troops from different states, activating troops from different states, and deploying them all over the place. Now, if you notice also that what they did in Chicago the other day, digging out people out of their beds, zip tying kids, throwing them in the back of a truck or whatever it is. This is not the America that people fought and died 4 years ago, right? And a lot of people know it. I know it, okay? It should be getting better. America cannot go back to suit the needs of one race of people, because now the United States that you live in is a multicultural society. You know what I'm saying? It's a multicultural society. So if you look at the social economical impact that this will have on a lot of people, especially people that look like me and people of color, it will be devastating, and it's devastating now. Now, currently, as of today, you see where the country has removed DEI policies, diversity, equity, inclusion policies, which is frustrating a lot of people that look like myself, people of different sexual orientations, like gays, and whatever it is, okay? So the agenda is to push one philosophy and way of living in America. It will never work, and it's been too late. You understand? America has came too far since 1775 for it to go back to what it was. You understand? It's too late right now. If they had tried this probably 200 years ago, they would probably have a chance. But what the MAGA regime is doing in the United States will definitely not work. Okay? And you don't have to be an economist or a history major to know this. You can read the U.S. Constitutions, read the amendments, and just the basic reading could show you what they're doing is wrong. Now, these guys, they know what they're doing is wrong. Okay, and that's why they're hiding their faces, especially when it comes down to people like ICE. They're hiding their faces during these raids. And the abuse of people is so blatant, and it's so disregarding to human life. I was watching a video where I saw a guy, think they said he was a pastor or something. I think this happened in Portland, Oregon, where some ICE agents were standing on top of a roof, and they just fired rubber bullets and hit the guy in his head. Boom. Okay, I think he fell to the ground or some stuff like that. And also, I think he was an older guy who has a car wash, and he had suffered multiple broken ribs and a lot of different things. So all these things are in the headlines and they're in the news headlines. But I'm imploring people who live in the United States or who have an interest in America to look at what's happening and do not wait until it gets to your door, right? Because by that time, it will probably be too late. You need to act today, right? And you need to be prepared to vote. You need to be prepared to vote, and you need to act today to get these people, vote them out of office. They're very dangerous, and they're tearing down this entire country brick by brick, okay? The political rhetoric, the killing of any political person, whether they're philosophically political or they're politicians themselves, it's not acceptable. You understand? People have passed the age of intelligence now, where people are more intellectually capable to reason things out and resolve things through reasoning versus the taking of other people's life. It's not acceptable. You know what I'm saying? And it needs to stop. And until more people, and I'm encourage you to start making videos and start posting about these things that's happening in America, because it's going to impact your life one way or another. If you live in the United States or if you have interest in America, it's going to impact you. If you look at things like tourism right now, right? Look at tourism, it's down. Now, a Google search may tell you that tourism is up in certain places. It couldn't be further from the truth. You got to look at what MAGA is doing. If they reduce immigration, right, they're not trying to control immigration. It's two different things. They're trying to stop immigration completely. Okay, so when you look at visas, the H-1B visas now $100,000, H-2A for farm workers. A lot of farmers, their farms, they can't find workers. It's a mess. It's a total disaster. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to look at the basics and see how the ripple effect works, because that's how the system is set up in the United States. It's a ripple effect. One thing affects the next. If you stop immigration and stop tourism, then it's going to impact the hotel industry, right? And a lot of different industry that filters into tourism, into the tourism industry. So airlines will get affected and a lot of stuff like that. So speaking of airline industry, if you look at the FAA right now, that a lot of these FAA people who work in the towers, in the control towers that deal with air traffic control and stuff like that, they are on sick leave. Okay, they call in sick because there are talks of them not getting paid. Okay, they're not. Some of them would probably get paid. Who knows? Hopefully, all of them get paid. But there are talks of some people not getting paid or not getting back paid from the government shutdown and all types of stuff like that. This is not going to help the country. And if you look what season it is right now, this is picking up to become a travel season, to which way you're moving into the fall season, which goes down into, I would say, Halloween, Thanksgiving, and then the Christmas holidays. You get what I'm saying? So just think about the mess that they're causing right now. And I'm talking about American politicians. Think about the disaster that's fixing to happen right now as a result of politicians in DC acting and non-acting. You see? So this Christmas is going to be a very bleak and dangerous Christmas holiday for a lot of Americans or people who are traveling to the United States, because their money is a mess. They're going to be behind on their bills, and it's just complete chaos all the time while the country is losing billions of dollars due to this government shutdown. Their people are getting laid off in the midst of this madness. Some people can't even get to work, right? And just traveling from one point to the next becomes dangerous, because if you don't have air traffic control, are you sure that your flight will take off or get to your destination safely? These are the things you need to think about, and people need to start talking about it. You understand? If you don't make content, I'm encouraging you to start making content and speak about these social issues in the United States. Here's the next important reason why. These things do not have to happen. It don't have to happen. It's completely unnecessary, and it's ideologically based. So it's just based on a certain ideology and philosophy, which most times will come down to money to benefit the rich, while the American public suffers. Okay? So like I said, it's a lot of issues. It's so much things that I verge off in different areas while I'm making these videos, because everything can't be told in one setting. So we're going to break it down, but I'm starting up on YouTube, and that's what I'm going to be talking about mostly on YouTube. American politics, social economical factors, and different things in America. Okay, there's different social issues. Everyday happenings in the United States is what I'll be talking about on YouTube. Okay, So we're now into 15 minutes. We're going to wrap this up. And pretty soon we're going to talk. I'm going to make some more videos, posts, and we're going to zero in on specific topics in different videos, okay? Because this video has too much things in it, and it's verging all over the place. Air traffic control, we're talking about tourism, the housing market is crashing. It's a bunch of bullshit. Oh, you understand what I'm saying? So we're going to break them down brick by brick, video by video, and we're going to get an in-depth, detailed insight of specific things so we can have a clear and precise understanding of what's going on. And these will be based on facts. We need facts, not things that I think of or things that I think may be. You understand? So it's going to take some work. It will take a good amount of work, but we're going to get to the bottom of things. You understand? Because things can be done better in the United States. If you look at like inflation, I mean, look at the price of food and all this other stuff. It's ridiculous. You understand? And a lot of people are crying and complaining about this, but they're taking no action. Okay? You got to take action. Politicians in Washington need to do their job. They were placed there to do a job, and they need to do it. Okay? So catch me on the next video or on the next live. Remember to share the video. Give it a like. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And as usual, it's Big Muscle. I stay on the hustle. And catch me next time. Peace. I'm going to leave this video up so you could rewatch it or share it, okay?